clone yourself. All right, live stream is starting.
Yes,
All right, but it'll take a couple, like 2 minutes. I'm just saying that so you know that
you're
things are
fine.
being recorded. So, all right, that has been done. Step one of, and then now, if you are ready, I will hit record here.
I
Record
am
to the
ready.
cloud.
Am I in the shot?
There we go. Um, yeah, it was very interesting. This weekend, I had two separate chefs, like one person rescheduled, one person canceled, and then I saw you post this recipe on the internet, and I said, "Hey, that would be good enough to be on the show." And you're like, "Can I do it this Sunday?" And I said, "Yes, we have an opening." But actually, Lulu was going to be the emergency help, and she was just like, "Someone else can cook." Oh, okay, I'll save it for next week. So, um,
Wonderful.
I went to the farmer's market and got these big ass sweet potatoes. Um, we discussed this beforehand. The You have to boil the sweet potatoes, so we should start that, and then we can discuss the recipe and discuss who you are and all that, if
Wonderful.
you don't mind.
Yes.
So
So we're gonna peel some sweet potatoes. I'm gonna
peel
peel.
them. Oh man, I always badmouth people who peel stuff because that's all the nutrition is in the peels.
You're taking it all. I'm taking all the nutrition out. All right.
Now, here, what I
See?
recommend is peel it and then boil those skins too, and then take it and make a soup with the skins, so you
Oh,
don't
nice.
waste it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
So
I tend to save everything. So
yeah,
um,
I didn't get as large sweet potatoes as you did.
okay. So I got
Because
two. I got I got the large one, and then I was just in case we need it. I got another container of the smaller ones. So I was just like, which one? But these were literally planted or harvested at least 6 months ago. These are last year's. And the nice thing about root crops is they do stay good. Okay, let me switch cameras so you can see the stuff I'm doing down here. But so we're just chopping it up. Oh, start your water. Start your.
well, the water's on. Water's
I did a
on.
little bit of a shortcut. I have one of these electric ones,
Oh, you're cheating.
and it heats water so fast. And then I'm really cheating because this right here is an induction burner, and it brings water up to boil like almost instant. It's absolutely.
We don't have those in our renter.
Well, this is a stovetop. You can see it's like a two burner. Under
Hmm.
this wood, I actually have a four burner gas, and I haven't
Oh,
used it
love
in
that.
ages now because I have solar. So the electricity for my induction here actually is from the electricity from solar, so I'm not wasting energy. And then put the lid on to really save some energy. So now, have you ever made this with? I think you could probably make this without the eggs and make it vegan, but um, this is just like chocolate and sweet potatoes. But
Yeah, I don't think I've gotten to the vegan point yet, but
yeah,
I'm working on it. Or not.
no, yeah.
Maybe not.
So you said peel them, huh?
Maybe not. I might not be working on becoming vegan. I'm okay. So I didn't peel them. I actually stopped and they are whole. If we can, we're going to move the camera. So
It's the smaller we're gonna mash these, so the smaller you cut these, the quicker it'll cook.
Yes. So they will cook quite rapidly.
Look at
And
this. Look at this absolute beautiful color.
yeah, those are
Just
amazing. I love sweet potatoes. I just love them just mashed, like mashed potatoes, little brown sugar, little cinnamon. I love them in everything. I love them every holiday. My meal is not complete without sweet potatoes. So,
me, I like doing like an Indian style. I'll do with what do you call it? Some butter, ghee, clarified butter.
mhm.
I do um where is it? Garam masala.
Yeah. So I had it at the new restaurant here,
But I'm
Tandoori.
trying to garam masala is like a savory pumpkin pie spice, basically.
Mhm.
It's got black pepper and some spiciness to it.
Kiana, where are you located? I missed that if you said it.
I'm here in Carbondale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
in Carbondale.
hilarious.
I'm
It
from
was actually
Chicago.
hilarious. I was getting my sweet potatoes at the farmer's market, and someone else was showing up right behind me to get them too.
That would be me.
Oh,
I wanted to make as many ingredients local as possible.
Oh, I was able to get local eggs,
Hmm.
Morningstar Farms. Um, what do you call it? Now, a couple weeks ago, I was down in the Amazon and I planted a cacao tree, so I could have like got some cacao and brought it back from the Amazon. So, but let's see. Um, I really like sweet potatoes, so I'm gonna go and whatever we don't use for this recipe, I'm gonna eat.
Yeah.
So,
I
what
did
made
chop up
you?
enough that I'm gonna have enough for dinner. And the reason that like I chose this recipe for today, so even if I didn't come on today to do this, I was gonna make this today because it's part of like my id meal. So
Oh yeah, we're wrapping up Ramadan.
we're wrapping up Ramadan. And so I was like, this is gonna be my dessert.
All right, tell me a little bit about yourself and why you picked this meal.
A little bit about myself. So, born and raised in Chicago, moved to Carbondale about 7 years ago for school. Um, master's in workforce education and development, and currently ABD for a doctorate in education, higher ed and
You say
administration.
that kind of very bored that it's like you're so used to like trotting out your accomplishments. It
No,
sounds
there's
like you
more
have a
stuff
hard time
after this.
bragging about the
That's
fact that you've accomplished all this.
So yeah, doctorate in education and administration and policy, which really reflects the work that I do in the community in Carbondale, the work that I did in Chicago, which is policy and advocacy specifically for reentry. Um, I am directly impacted as I served 10 years in the Illinois Department of Corrections. I've been home for 10 years and just I started my nonprofit Beyond the Walls back in 2019 because when I came down to Southern Illinois, there were just no viable resources for individuals with backgrounds. And there are resources for individuals that have substance abuse issues and may have a background. There are resources for individuals that have mental health issues and may have a background. But there's nothing specifically for individuals that just had criminal history or conviction or record and was just looking to evolve and elevate. So, peer-led organization, Beyond the Walls, and
so is there no program that I remember there used to be the Glass House, called like a halfway house in town, where they help people transition into society. Is there no program like in prison right before they let people out to like teach people how to do basic? Well, in my case, of course, cook. Like if you've been locked away, like I talked to a guy who'd been locked away for 20 years, and when he came out, he was completely overwhelmed to go to his supermarket because it used to be you had like two choices of like pasta, and now there's like 20,
yeah.
and it was just like mind-boggling to him. Like, how do you choose? How do you shop? How do you budget? How do you cook?
So there
How do
is
you like live a
nothing.
basic stuff? And
No, there's nothing in the Illinois Department of Corrections currently that is based like that. There's a couple of programs sprinkled throughout the men facilities, like in Danville, they have building blocks. Then they have Quianya Reentry Center. But those are like, oh, they have a really robust program in Vienna. But that's 3 institutions out of the 23 institutions
right.
that the
So
state has.
I knew you did this stuff, but the part I know about is you got into food. Like
I got into food.
You got into food as a vital resource for, well, I won't explain it. If you want to say, how'd you get into food as part of this
So I got into
activist
food
work for people, right?
Yeah. So first off, always been connected to the land. I did a lot of container gardening sort of thing in every rental that I've been
In
in.
Chicago?
In Chicago as well.
Like, how do you feel connected? This is okay. I literally am releasing a book on how to like live off the grid, live off the land in the city. And people are blown away that you can be connected to the land, connected to nature, and in some cases more so because you don't take it for advantage or take it for granted, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So even in Chicago, I will always figure out a way to build me a green space. And so I came down, I got into food. Main reason I got into food, a lot of people don't know, is that I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis, which is an autoimmune disease. And I heard hereditary,
It seems like there's a
prevalent in
real
Black
trend
women.
of autoimmune diseases. Like my theory is we cleaned up the world so much that we don't have outside bacteria to fight, that our body started fighting ourselves. That's my theory.
Well, sarcoidosis is hereditary. So my aunt, my
Okay.
eldest aunt had it. I have a first cousin and a second cousin who are all women who have it as well. So we know that it's on my maternal side.
So food is medicine became part of your
Food is
life.
medicine. I heard through some research that you could reverse sarcoidosis in a great way with the shift of your diet. So I joined FoodWorks Farm Beginnings and I said, hey, let's shift my health issues, but also how can we use food in the reentry process, right? How can we help individuals root themselves,
Not to
heal
distract, but look at
themselves?
this. This is like how fast you know, it's like boiling away. I have to turn it down already because
I got to boil. I got to boil. We should be right on point.
All right. Yeah, so yeah, we're basically boiling the sweet potatoes, so you have mashed sweet potatoes for the beginning of this recipe, and then all right.
And then everything else is really simple. I think this is the major part, the boiling of the sweet potatoes and mashing them. Everything else is like dry and wet ingredients and a quick mix. So we should be good for time.
Do
But
we have
yeah,
to
so
preheat the oven though?
yeah, when I take them off, I'll preheat it.
All right. I always forget. So,
Oh, I got you. Oh,
so food is medicine.
food is medicine. Um, but food is also universal in its healing to the soul, right? It's like music. Like you can bring
If
a
you could
very
sit down
diverse
two
group.
enemies and share a meal, it's amazing, especially if their grandmas made it.
Absolutely. And I happen to be a grandmother of four, so believe me, I can cook. Yeah. And so yeah, we decided after farm beginnings that we were going to purchase some land. So we own a micro farm over on East
But
Jackson in
but
Carbondale.
I mean, you have a farm in the city.
We have a farm in the city, in
Yeah.
city limits. It has a farm ID number, and we will be growing again this season. This is our first full growth season. So we're super excited about that. Um, but we use the space as a healing space, as an informed trauma care space for individuals that are directly impacted to come and heal themselves and root themselves in the land.
Yeah, I
Um,
was talking to someone 2 days ago about how much it cost them to grow that tomato. And they're like,
yeah,
well, it's not about the cost of growing the tomato. It was my free therapy sessions, like going out there. Um, we lost your camera.
yeah,
But
I'm here. I had to
okay.
let the dogs in.
All right. um, but yeah, it was just like the 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 exercise and therapy of working in the garden was so
Hmm.
invaluable that the tomato and the herbs were just like pure, like, you know, I was gonna say sugar on top, but we need to come up with a better expression. Just
Yeah, we'll have to think about that.
so
We'll have to think about another expression for that. But it is, and so it's become a it's just become a very open space for people to just reconnect with themselves more than anything. We tried to rush home to people that we
were
left
you
behind when we're
surprised how many
incarcerated.
like inner city, like disconnected people, like felt reconnected to like hang out in a garden?
Oh yeah. So inner city people, very disconnected from the land. Most of the people see it as like the concrete jungle, those sort of things. So definitely a disconnect from the land, and to reincorporate green space into the inner city where people can just come and take their shoes off and plant things and nourish them and watch them grow, and then take those things back and nourish their bodies with it. It's the root of joy, right? So so that's what we do over at Healing Soil Farm. It's a agricultural educational space. We invite anyone over there during working hours. It is a fenced-in space. It's a public space, but it's not a open public space. So when we're there, people are more than welcome to come in. But we also host activities with little ones, and so we have a fenced-in space, and just for safety reasons, that everyone could feel comfortable and not worry about those little ones running out into the street or any of that stuff. So,
Yeah.
but it's a great space, and it's healing, not just physically, but definitely mentally and emotionally, right? And that's the way that we decided that we needed to connect with the people, but on their level. Like we didn't want anything. So we did a poll and we asked people like, if there was something that you could do, what would it be? Right. And they was like, well, we have the Washington Street Farm Garden, which is super great, but I think that they would be looking for more guidance, and no one is there enough for them. But if we planned classes over at the farm, then people would show up. And so a lot of people were looking for a lot more guidance. Like the Washington Street Garden it's beautiful, it's great. But I think that more of
It's more geared
instructional
towards
space,
being a production garden and not. They do stuff.
educational.
They do like work days where they do a little bit, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's within people's limits, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely. It's all about capacity. It's all about capacity.
so
And we
going
are
back to
grant
food as
funded.
medicine, what made you decide to pick this recipe? Because
So
it is kind of wholesome. I mean,
it's wholesome, right? And I need it to be wholesome because I'm on this health journey, and not that, but like sweet potatoes are like a staple in my family, but also like in my culture. Like sweet potatoes are a staple. So
it's very
when
interesting to me. Like a diet means you eat less stuff. You basically eat food.
mhm,
So this right here is considered healthy because it has less stuff in it,
less stuff in
right?
it, right? We
I
don't
mean,
need all the
it doesn't
other
have
stuff.
flour, it doesn't have dairy, it doesn't have sugar. It's less refined junk, and it's considered healthy instead of just food.
Yeah.
It's just
It
like,
wouldn't it be great to only put food in your body that benefited it?
yeah, it's just like,
Like
oh,
like the
and
benefits.
yeah,
Like honestly, I would have peeled the potatoes. But then I think about it and I think about everything that I've researched and everything that I read. It's like always keep the skin on,
mhm.
right? So those sort of things. But wouldn't it be great if everything that we ate and everything that we put in our bodies was beneficial and not and non-toxic?
And I mean, proper food as medicine doesn't just nourish the body; it nourishes the soul. And um, so what made you pick this particular recipe? It seems very simple.
It was so simple, right? I am not, you wouldn't believe that I went to school to bake and commercial cooking sort of classes, right? Because I love simple recipes. I think I love simple recipes more because anyone can do them, right? When you get into the whole techniques of sifting flour and um crushing things and making your own oils. I mean, people enjoy that, but they also want something that is great and that is good and that is quick. And I think the simpler the recipe, the more people will be engaged or active in actually doing the recipe, actually
So I
baking,
mean,
actually getting into the kitchen.
this recipe has a decent amount of flavors, but really it's just mashed sweet potato and then a nut butter.
It's it. It's it.
You
And you don't
know,
necessarily have to have almond butter. You can use peanut butter, right? So you don't necessarily have to have maple syrup. You can use honey, right? And so it's
well,
all to
let's
taste.
go into the difference between sweet potatoes and yams. One of them happens to be actually sweet, and one
Yes,
of them is more like a potato that's slightly sweet.
that is true.
So in the
And
US,
so,
we get very bland vegetables and then put a crap ton of stuff on them. So they always taste the same. Instead of
mhm,
let's taste this vegetable and just work with it.
let's
So
taste it and work with it.
yeah. So in the US, we tend to get sweet potatoes and grow sweet potatoes that are very bland and then put a lot of stuff on it. So it's always consistently the same flavor.
Right?
So
And these ingredients can give us that consistent flavor. The brown sugar, the vanilla extract, the pinch of cinnamon, all those things still give us a hint of that same flavor. And then we just add chocolate to it. Who doesn't love good chocolate, right?
well, that's we can go off on good chocolate. Good chocolate means very little sugar, very little milk, or none. Like so,
No milk in this recipe.
this is my go-to chocolate. This is chocolate nibs, which is a roasted cocoa bean that's chopped up, and that's it. There's
Nice.
no sugar, there's no salt. This is literally just the bean that's been roasted, and then it's cacao. Now it's bitter, but
Yeah,
like a pinch like that gives me my chocolate satisfaction. So,
love it.
but all right. Um, difference between sweet potatoes and yams. You wanted to go a little bit, but we've got only like I think a minute before my sweet potatoes are done.
Yeah, my sweet potatoes are almost done as well.
And I'm
Maybe even
using
that minute.
poke a fork in it. Mine's completely soft. So, all right.
Yeah. So,
So
difference between sweet potatoes and yams. So, I learned this. Number one, color. Yams are a very light yellow, white-ish, milky color. And then sweet potatoes are beautiful orange American. Um, yams are in West Africa. So I went to West Africa right before Thanksgiving. I was gone for 16 days to Benin and had my first yam. And
definitely
it
a
had
different taste.
definitely a different taste, almost the similar taste as like a plantain,
Mhm.
but a little bit more firmer, starchier kind of taste, but definitely went great with like all of my meals. Absolutely enjoyed it. Would have loved to get some
Now it's
being
usually
able to
served
bring
in
some
other
home.
countries with no toppings, just like a whole, a whole small yam or chopped up
Yeah,
with
like a baked
no
potato,
flavors
like
on
just
it, and
like a
it's
baked
just like
potato,
it's like
or
accompanied.
chopped potato, diced potatoes, and
But
that's how they eat
right, but
yams.
in the U.S. we get a baked potato and we don't want to taste the potato. We put like 10,
Cheese and sour cream and
10 tons of stuff on it, so we don't taste the potato. It's just a vehicle.
yes,
So yeah,
yeah. Um, so yeah, so that is the difference between yams and sweet potatoes, but definitely came from the transatlantic slave trade. Like those, the idea of this potato came um, with enslaved Africans, and yeah, it's just
utilize what's available while using
utilize what's
historic.
available. It's always been referred to as a slave food. But it was the poor man's potato, but always the best food ever. And so it was a staple, like I said, a staple in my household growing up. And I didn't think of it as a far-fetched recipe. How about that? I was just like, this kind of makes sense. So let's give it a shot.
All right, I'll switch cameras, and we have boiled the sweet potatoes. These are some
Yes.
nice local grown sweet potatoes. I forgot to ask them what variety,
I
but
did neither, but they look absolutely amazing.
and again, here is here is one of the big ones. I chopped up all the little ones. And
Oh, okay.
in this recipe, it's not very much. Um, we're going for just like a cup here, it says. So,
Yeah,
and
we only
I
want
mean,
a cup.
so this is to make like one like baking tray or like an eight
So
by
it's 12, yeah, so 12,
what's
12
it?
piece serving.
I'm gonna double it.
You're gonna double yours. Oh, they're gonna be some excited people to know that they have these brownies coming.
Just like now, if you're making this for Americans, you will have to take the skin off because they don't like texture.
Hey, we like a little bit of texture.
I was like, this is probably my favorite piece of equipment for mashed potatoes or chopping up stuff. This is actually a
Huh?
meat chopper. It's supposed to like chop up meat, but I really like using it for
Oh, really?
make, making mashed potatoes because part of it is it just look how
Have
easy
one of those.
it almost cleans like versus if you want it really fine, you use but then it's a hassle to clean. So if I'm just doing it for myself, I'll use the other one. Well, this one makes it a lot finer. But and then so let's see. I guess for the people cooking along, cover the ingredients list. Now I did make a mistake in that if you have nut butter that's natural nut butter, it will have a layer of oil.
Yes.
And a trick is if you flip it upside down, the oil will percolate to the top, which is the bottom of it, and make it a lot easier to mix.
Gotcha.
So if you have like if you look here, it's got about an inch of like oil, right? And so I did not flip this over, so it'll be really hard for me to mix that and get that out. Let's see, look at it. It's all like
all right.
all the little holes are full. There we go. Got them mostly empty. But I'm gonna make a sweet potato curry with the rest.
Sounds good.
Just some spices and probably some coconut milk.
So we've got our mashed sweet potatoes.
See how hard it is to mix this. Oh, it did. Even in like 15 minutes, there was a layer of oil on the top. It has percolated into it. Just
Nice.
For 15 minutes. So it's a lot easier. Yeah, see, the oil has gone around the edges. But I'm going to need this whole jar because it says a cup, right? Let's see.
It does say a cup. This is our unsweetened almond butter.
You look at that, it almost all just came right out by flipping the jar over and letting the oil percolate around the edge. Oh man. I was afraid that I didn't flip it over. Usually I let it sit overnight. That came right out. That was nice. I feel so accomplished now. Because there's been times where I've been digging out the whole thing for the whole, and it's just such a hassle.
Yeah.
So, all right, so I've got a cup of sweet potato and a cup of nut butter.
That is it.
I mean, how come this is called sweet potato brownies and then not nut brownies? Look at that. Yes.
I think
I'm just being
I think that because of the healthy aspect, you definitely want to highlight the sweet potatoes.
Like,
I think that was the idea.
I'm gonna try to make one that's because we have so many sweet potatoes readily accessible local. Try to make one that's like 90% sweet potatoes and only 10% nut butter.
Oh,
although we do have.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what nut butters are local to Southern Illinois. There's peanuts. There's a local company just over the border in Missouri, Eastwind, that makes local peanuts.
Okay.
Peanut butter. Anyway, I don't think we need to go any further. I think add a little chocolate to this and then just start eating.
I know, it smells amazing.
I mean, it says eggs, so then that's for baking it. But if you just want to make some like healthy chocolate pudding, skip the bacon part. This is
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. Once I'm done, I'll tell you. I'm like I said, a simple, lazy cook. So let's see. What's next?
Okay, we're gonna stir our cocoa powder. All of our dry goods are gonna go in now.
Okay, so let's see. Uh-oh. So we've got. Did you put the maple syrup and eggs in or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay. We
Hold up.
actually we have a
Oh
local
yeah.
maple syrup,
Yeah.
but it's
So
low
eggs.
quality.
So
Yeah.
that's correct. So eggs, maple syrup, and vanilla extract go in before wet goes in before dry.
All right. So let's see here.
We've got
Um,
2 teaspoons of vanilla,
2 big T.
2/3 a cup of maple syrup. I found this little cutie on sale at Walmart at the end of the holiday season.
Yeah, in my area we have soft maples, so they can make maple syrup, but it takes, I don't know, like 5 or 10 times as much. It's not like the thick hardwood maples of Northern America.
And I
We're
was
more in
so
the south.
disappointed because last weekend was the Maple Syrup Festival and I didn't even get to go. Out at the Touch of Nature. I didn't even think about it.
All right. So, oh, I didn't put the eggs in. Now, I
So we've
grew up
got our
always
eggs.
with local eggs, so I
Hmm.
always got in the habit of not cracking them directly into your main thing
Oh,
because
yeah.
we grew
You never know.
our own chickens, and every once in a while you'd come across one that was overripe or fertilized.
Yeah.
And so, I just got into the habit of always cracking them separately. And it was very rare, but when it was done, it ruined everything. So it just became
Hmm.
a habit.
Agreed.
I
Did you
have
turn
talked
your
to
oven on?
some people, why they do certain things and they don't realize why they do the habit. Like, what
Yeah.
was it? Friend of mine, they always cut off the butt end of the ham. And I was like, why
Uh-huh.
do you do that? They're like, I don't know. Grandma used to do it. Mom used to do it. It turns out that way back in history, the baking pan was small, so she cut it off to fit into the baking pan, and it just became a family habit.
I love
But
that.
it's just like, but
But it's also been cultural to never question elders, right? So you just do what they do.
well, that's why I always question whenever someone peels any vegetable. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
why? And part of it is we
Yeah.
started doing it, I think, in the 50s because of poison. We started using a lot of poison, and it just became
Uh-huh.
easier to just peel it than to properly wash it to get the poison off, or use stuff that doesn't have poison. Maybe that's my opinion. All right, so I've got all the wet ingredients in here. I think I can switch over to my happy spatula.
Your happy spatula?
See,
Oh,
it's just like so. All right, so we've got mashed potatoes, almond butter, eggs, maple syrup, vanilla. And now I can start putting the dry stuff in. Start
Yes.
folding in the dry stuff. So first up, 2/3 of a cup of cocoa powder. You guys know the difference between cacao powder and cocoa powder?
Tell me.
Cacao powder is just the pure powder of the cacao bean. Cocoa
Yeah.
powder, they've added milk and sugar to it. So it's basically ready to add water to make hot chocolate, hot cocoa. I think,
Okay.
so yeah, if you get the cacao powder instead of the cocoa powder, I think, isn't it spelled exactly the same though?
It it
Cacao
I
and cocoa,
no, I think isn't there extra A in it
or the A and the O are.
or
Well,
switch?
all right, so cacao, and then oh wait, well I'm pulling back here. I only put 1/3 of a cup. Like,
Uh-huh.
my measurement is 1/3, and I only did one, so let's do 2/3.
Oh my.
Um,
I don't know if your brownies are going to be as chocolate as they need to be.
now here I've got. I mean, I follow the recipe. I don't know. There's like about 2 tablespoons left. It's gonna be 2 chocolate. Well, no, we've got chocolate chips. Let's save. I
There
save
we
this
go. That
now.
is amazing.
Uh Now, if you were making a big batch of this, I suppose you could do it in a mixer. But
Yeah,
when I'm doing small batches, I just love the joy of folding stuff in.
I do. I love a good spatula.
You know. Well, I grew up without a spatula, so I used to love the fingers, especially this part. I like if I was just making this for myself, fingers in there, and I get to lick all my
Oh, yeah.
just like. All right, baking soda, cinnamon, sea salt.
Yes. Baking soda.
Yeah, don't do like me and mix up the other stuff. I sometimes interchange them by mistake.
Oh,
1/2 teaspoon, and this is a baking recipe, so it's kind of slightly precise. Let's see, what are we looking at? 1/2 teaspoon baking soda.
half a teaspoon.
So you said you did baking. What do you think are some variations on this that won't ruin the baking? Because baking tends to be kind of a science precise. What are
It
some?
is. And baking is a lot of um scaling. We talk about weighing things instead of measuring spoons. It's about weight more than it is spoons and cups. Unless we're talking about liquids. And then it depends on the recipe, the liquids may be weighed as well. So, come on, out. Thank you. So, yeah. So we've got a 1/2 teaspoon baking soda and a teaspoon of sea salt.
Yeah, I think you can mix all this together without the eggs and just then eat it.
Then have your way.
Or I don't know, you could make like little balls and then coat them with
Oh,
like
like protein balls. Yeah.
Yeah, like you make balls and then because it's mush, it's wet, so you need to coat them with something dry, like powdered nuts or flaxseed or something
Mm-hmm.
to. Yeah. Anyway, I always like thinking, although this is getting pretty dry, it's like,
And because I love nuts in mine, I'm going to add walnuts.
oh, there you go. I guess now I personally love mint chocolate. So when I make brownies, I usually throw in a little hint of mint, but I already threw cinnamon in here, and I don't
Oh,
think cinnamon and mint would go together. But
okay.
if I had not put the cinnamon, I think I would have put a little mint in. So, um, all right, let's look at the list. I have put
Then
everything in except the chocolate chips.
1 cup of chocolate chips.
Now, I guess, does it matter what kind of chocolate chips?
I don't think it matters.
And
Whatever
if you're
floats
staying
your
with
boat.
healthy, though, less sugar, less dairy.
Less sugar. Less sugar. We could go for that.
Let's see. This says 100% real chocolate. I just like whenever I read something like that, I was just like, what did you guys used to sell?
But what is fake chocolate?
I think it's they add a lot of uh, oil and what is
Mhm.
it? Lexithin? Is it lecithin? It's a filler, a thickener.
Yeah. Okay. So we don't want that chocolate. So we'll take the 100%.
These are definitely a bit bitter,
Oh,
but
good.
let's um
So
all
we have
right. Oh,
semi-sweet organic chocolate chips.
mhm.
Little bit of milk in it, a little bit of butter. It says it may also contain milk. So
I think I need to make sure how good they are. Oh, that fell in my mouth.
see,
All right. Oh, do I need to
that's wonderful.
preheat the oven?
Did you preheat the oven?
I did not. See?
Oh gosh, I asked you.
And then do you oil the pan or
I don't. It says so. We have a nonstick brownie pan that we use specifically for brownies. That's a nonstick pan. So
okay.
no oil, but it does say parchment paper.
Oh, okay. Well, let
Um,
me do that.
so I think the parchment paper depends on the pan for sure. So I would use parchment paper in the glass pan.
Oh, this looks so good. I just want to take. All right.
All right.
Now I have to find 12 friends or I will have a really good week.
Sounds like your breakfast is going to be amazing.
So I like how this has like a texture to it. I don't know. I
It
think
does.
a lot of brownies tend to be, I don't know, too soft for me. I tend to like a brownie with some texture. But you also you added nuts to yours. Do you even
I
have
did
walnuts?
add walnuts to mine.
Yeah. Like, oh well. Well, I guess. And that's it. You just, how long do you typically bake it for?
I like mine gooey, so I definitely know it won't be 25 minutes or 23 minutes. It'll probably be more like 15 to 18 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll grab a toothpick halfway in, check them out.
So does gooey mean chewy?
It does. It means chewy. Like, so what they are is like half baked. So I like mine a little half baked. Um, Not so like hard cakey, but just like with that soft little oozing out of it a little bit.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, because those chocolate chips will melt, and so there'll be like pockets of chocolate gooiness.
Yes. Yes. And if we let it cook for the 28 minutes, 23 minutes, I feel like um we'll miss that.
But it melts too much and incorporates into the whole thing. Yeah.
Incorporates into the whole thing. So we're gonna do center rack, and then we're just gonna bake for that fudgy gooey brownies is what the recipe says. It
There
says
we
bake
go.
for 23 minutes for that. So we're gonna see. Our oven is preheated and we are good to go.
Will do. Any final tidbits you want to leave us with? Besides, I don't know.
Oh,
Make
wonderful. Here we go. Clean slate. Check out our local go to Illinois Coalition to End Permanent Punishments.org. It's ENDPP.org, and learn about Clean Slate and how Clean Slate could help improve your local economy, giving individuals that are with criminal records and arrest records the opportunity to obtain gainful employment.
Thank you so
So,
much for sharing all your different nuanced background and the the fact that you came to the joyous realization that um I don't know. I mean, part of it is I don't know tons about Ramadan, but part of that is you try to figure out the so I fast for the first couple days of every month. It's just became a habit
mhm.
because I I don't pay attention after a while to what I just like snack on. I just put it in my mouth without thinking about it. And so be conscious of our food, and our food has more than just like a tastiness to it. It has medicine, it has life, it has joy, and it really connects us to the world. So
It does. So, with that, I'd love to say I invite anyone to come over to Healing Soil Farm, 422 East Jackson, Check us out on beyondthewalls.org. We have a lot of activities going on this summer. Beyond the Walls will be bringing a safe house for women returning from prison to Carbondale. So we are expanding our board. So if anyone is interested in reentry and giving people second chances and think that that's a fit, our organization is a fit, look us up and reach out and come join the expansion of Carbondale.
There you go. Food from around the world
Yes.
came home.
Is
Just like
your t-shirt from Clean Slate, the organization?
It is. So it's a clean slate t-shirt, and it was from their conference in Philadelphia this past summer.
Nice. And what's it say? The movement to
ensure people have access to opportunity and a shot at redemption, primarily through passing laws that automate and expand the sealing of arrest and conviction records.
Nice.
all right.
Yeah.
Thank you so
All
much.
righty. No, thank you for joining. Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah, I've been doing this